Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Hakuoki Ito Blossoms. It's like I forgot for a second, like, what am I playing again? Good lord. Anyway, so in the middle of Okita's route, well, I mean, chapter 3 somewhere, so 3/4 of the way in, I guess. Anyway, so, right. That's right, we just met Yamazaki in the last part. He saved our asses, and then he went off into the sunset. I don't know what's happening, but and we're going for Usunomiya Castle. Anyway, we set our sights for Usunomiya Castle. Whatever. Just as Yamazaki had told us. Doesn't seem like there's any Imperial soldiers nearby, so we should get there in good time. It was nice to know that we wouldn't have any trouble with soldiers like we did earlier that day, but... What's the matter? Why are you walking? Let's go! Okita... I can't do his voice. I don't know. When we arrived at Usunomiya Castle... Why? God, I can't. I wonder what Okita plans on doing. Sorry, bird. It's just I have an itch, and it's like right where your body was. Even if he had doubts about what would happen once we encountered Hijikata... there was the slightest chance that one of them wouldn't live to see a second conversation between the two. But even then, do you really have to go to Usunomiya Castle? Usunomiya Castle. You're asking me this now? If we head back to Ito now, then what the hell was the point of us coming this far to begin with? But, alright. Well, if you don't want to come with me, you can just wait here till I come back. What? I wanted him to stay behind, but that didn't mean that I wanted to get left behind on my own. But, Okita. What is it? What should I tell him? Don't die. Don't kill him. Don't kill him would be... Yeah, okay, that's it. I was like, don't kill him would be my thing. Please don't kill Hijikata. Okita responded with a sharp glance. I won't make a promise I can't keep. But, like Yamazaki said, I don't think Kondo would have wanted Hijikata to die. Could you really live with killing some... Wait, was that me? Oh, like Yamazaki said, I don't think Kondo would have wanted Hijikata to die. I should look at the name before I say things and assume it's... Yeah, anyway. Could you really live with killing someone who also meant so much to Kondo? I couldn't just bring myself to think like Okita did. Okita had threatened to stab or kill me so many times, even spanning back to the days I joined the Shinsengumi, right? It had occurred so often back then, I lost track. Okita had a penchant for violence, only matched by his fondness for keeping true to his threats. Yet he's never killed us. However, there was a difference between killing an enemy of the Shinsengumi and Hijikata, of all people. That just brings up bad memories of that bad path where he's like, if I see you again, fucking kill you. And that was the unrequited love path. That hurt. That was the worst. Even for Okita, I couldn't imagine ever having to confront that possibility. I don't want you to have to suffer anymore. Spacey... My words appeared to catch him off guard. Okita was hesitant to answer right away, and he looked back at me sadly. Eventually... So, you're telling me that you don't care about Hijikata being murdered, but rather you care about my well-being? Jeez, real cold-blooded kid. You almost make me pity Hijikata. Well, that's not what I said. I mean, no, I get it. But I still have to see him. You know that, right? Okita seemed unsure of what exactly he'd hoped to gain from seeing Hijikata as well. And because of that uncertainty, he couldn't promise to me that either of their blood wouldn't be spilled. It was difficult to shake the anxiety that had been slowly festering in my heart, but for his sake, I could understand why Okita was intent on doing what he needed to do. So I said, okay. All I could do was nod. Between us, there was a brief moment of silence. Suddenly, Okita had crumpled to the ground, and then... His hair turned white, and his eyes turned red. Okita! Was he having another seizure? Oh no. To make matters worse, he seemed to be suffering in more agony than any of his previous episodes. I gave him blood. First of all, did he not in the last one ask us automatically, like, hey, would you do that for me again? He literally fucking asked us. And we also know that it's the right answer, but anyway. Once more, I unsheathed my kodachi and slit the blade across the veins on my wrist. Okita, drink my blood. He drew near me, salivating at the mouth. His red eyes flickered with relief. As he gently licked the blood flowing from my fresh wound, he muttered softly, "Thank you. Because I have you with me, I can maintain myself somewhat." Okita, his words wiped any feelings of reservation that I had been holding from our recent conversation. By giving him a taste of my blood, he was able to preserve his sanity, and most importantly, his life. Okita needed my blood. For this alone, I felt vindicated it was all worth it. After Okita's painful seizure had died down, we tried leaving again for Utsunomiya Castle. But, hang on, Spacey. Okita suddenly motioned for me to stop. Is something wrong? Right as I had asked him, The sound of cannon fire cracked loudly in the distance, and I screamed as the ground shook beneath us. Is it weird that, like, when that shook, I was like, oh my god, it's a giant! Like, it's a giant demon! Like, I don't know. It wasn't cannon fire that my first thought. I was like, Jesus, are there giants in this game? Like, fuck. What the shit? What was that sound? Oh no! Okita had no time to answer me, and he began running towards the small hill nearby. Seeing him sprint, I rushed to follow him. What we saw was... over there! Utsunomiya Castle was flooded with enemy soldiers, and the whole estate was engulfed in a fiery blaze. Is this the part where they all die? But we're witnessing it? Because that sucks. Cannon fire followed the loud barks of nearby enemy commanders, ordering their men to fire at the castle. The Shogunate forces were desperately trying to counter the bombastic assault. Sorry, I was like trying to twist my head so I couldn't read. But it was clear from our view that they were at a disadvantage. It seems like the castle's surrounded. There's no chance we'll be able to get down there safely. Okita's face looked as if he were concocting a plan in the meantime, and he walked down the hill. Okita, what are we going to do? I'm sure Hijikata's trying to get out of there, so let's see if we can intercept their escape route. Okay, I nodded. However, we heard the sound of marching soldiers approaching us. I was like, I can hear footsteps running, but... This way, Spacey. Okita grabbed my hand, and together we ran out of sight and hid behind a large bush. Soldiers clad in Western uniforms walked right past our hiding spot. We're good at being shrubbery. Okita and I held our breaths, waiting for them to pass without detecting us. Luckily, it seemed no one had spotted us, and I glanced at Okita when the footsteps were no longer audible. Seems like we're in the clear. Phew! Thought they had us for a second. If Hijikata isn't here, then it'd be pointless for us to stick around. So let's get out of here. Right. Suddenly, the end. Ugh! I was struck with a dizzy spell. My head throbbed, as if it were squeezed against the ground, and I became overwhelmed with nausea. Spacey? I'm fine. Okita rushed to place his arm around my shoulders to prevent me from toppling over. Just pick me up and carry me. You don't look fine at all. What's the matter? Oh. I shook my head. I don't want blood. I think my body's trying to fight off the poisonous effects of the water of life. Gotcha. Ugh. I felt as though my body would contort into a ball. I bit my lip aggressively, fighting to endure the pain as I mustered a smile at Okita. I'm fine. No matter how agonizing this felt, it was nothing compared to what Okita had been suffering up until now. I had no room to complain over something like this. I can walk. Sorry for being a bother. I see. You're a tough one. I'll give you that. Oh, really? Like both of us? Okita? I'm good. It's just a cough. I mean, my body's pretty much dead anyways, so I'm using whatever fury power I can to get it to move. Both of us are a mess. Aw. Okita, you should rest. Okita cut me off. If you can walk, then let's go. If we don't catch him in time, I'm worried we'll lose Hijikata again. Okita was right. He was, by sheer force of will, dragging his decaying body wherever it needed to go to locate Hijikata. That's depressing. It was admirable, if not terribly foolish. I'm fine. I still had my doubts about what would happen if Hijikata and Okita were to meet again, but even so, there was nothing I could say or do to stop him from going. This just makes me so sad that, like, it's basically like, Okita's dying. He's wasting away. He's dying. He's rotting away from the inside. His dying, decaying body. Could you stop making me sad? Tell me if you're in pain, all right? He spoke kindly, and he held my hand to lead us back down the path. There were times when I heard Okita hacking his lungs up as he coughed, but we supported each other's body as we proceeded carefully down the path. You're both fucking messes. It's adorable. Sad as fuck, but it's adorable. There was a peaceful pause in our conversation until, um, Okita, something wrong. Maybe it was better that I didn't ask him this, but it was something that had been bothering me. So if we were, in fact, able to see Hijikata, what do you plan on doing? Or have you still not made up your mind? It seemed presumptuous for me to ask, but Okita seemed unoffended by my question, and he smiled brightly as he answered. I must have only been 9 years old when I first met Kondo. His response perplexed me, and I listened closely, baby Okita. His story came from out of nowhere, but it was one of the first times Okita had opened up to me. Not a lot of CGs in this path so far, I feel like. Both my pa and my ma passed away, and my sister was wedded off to some deadbeat in the countryside. There was no one who wanted me around, so they dropped my ass off at Shei Hall to learn how to use a sword as an apprentice. That's exactly what happened, and it's sad as fuck. Like, she's like, I can't, it's hard to take care of him, you take care of him, and she left, and it was like, poor angry baby Okita, it's so cute! You can see more of that I think that's in the 3rd season of the anime, which is the prequel season. It's fucking adorable. I just figured no one wanted me. Not even my sister or stupid husband wanted anything to do with me. Okita laughed dryly, but my heart felt like it had shattered into pieces hearing him reminisce. Look at him, he's so adorable! It's like little baby Chibi. He's like a little chibi Okita. Don't you just want to squeeze him? Oh, baby Okita. You know what I thought of? I was watching Code Realize, the anime, the other night, because I couldn't watch Black Butler like I wanted to, because Crunchyroll and Funimation got a divorce, and now none of the Funimation shit's on Crunchyroll, and I had to wait for Funimation to upload fucking... They don't even have Black Butler Season 1 at all, so it's like... But now they finally have Season 3 in Japanese, at least, because I can't watch it in English. It's just fucking bullshit. I can't. There's some animes that I can, but some I can't, and Black Butler's one of them, but like... I won't give dubs a chance, in most cases I won't, but... Anyway, so I was watching Code Realize again on Crunchyroll, and I realized I'm watching it, and they do the whole, like, the Impy thing, and they do the flashback where they show baby Impey. I know his name's Impy, but I can't call him that. I'm so used to calling him Impey because I figured it would just be, you know the deal. Anyway, and I was like, so cute! And then I went, oh my god, that's actually really funny. And it made me think of Baby Okita because the voice actor is the same for both the characters. So I was like, that's really funny. He's the voice actor for Impei and he's the voice actor for Okita. And he is cute little babies! Like CGs in both games. Ah! Slash animes. Ah! Anyway. I just wanted to, anyway. And I actually listened because he's also the voice actor for Toa in Seven Scarlet, which we knew, but I was like, I can't imagine that. I just can't. And it's actually kind of cute because because I never listened to the voice acting in Seven Scarlet. I didn't do it after the fact, which I should have. Because most of these games like this, I can watch the anime and it's the same voice actors because they're good like that. So I hear their voices, I know what they sound like. But it's one of those, like, I can't imagine like him doing Toa. Like Toa was so sweet and docile and quiet. He actually does it really well because it's still got the little, you can still hear it a little bit, but he's not as like brash as I guess he is technically as being Okita, because like Okita's got an attitude. And then like, Impei, you know what I mean? Like they're a little more robust character. They're just a little more out there and toned up, I guess, as opposed to like Toa, who's like really quiet. So like if someone had it up where they don't even talk, they don't even do anything, they literally just click skip through. I swear to God, they just auto skip through parts, and I'm like, that's kind of boring because you're not doing any commentary at all or reading it or anything. But they have the voice acting on, so I was like, let me just watch Seven Scarlet, and I'm skipping through so I could listen to the voices, and I was like, oh, it's so weird. It's so weird listening to him do Toa. I didn't listen. I think they only had up the parts, like the preliminary stuff, so I didn't hear later in Atto if he does the same or if he changes it a little bit. You know what I mean? Because you think they're like two different characters, but not. But anyway, I just had to share that. It's amazing. I also found out that Grell from Black Butler does the voice of Kazuma in fucking Noragami, and I love it because I just can't. It's like Van Helsing and Undertaker. What? Because Van Helsing, deep, sexy voice. Undertaker does not. And, well, there is a point where he does have it, and you're like, oh, okay, I can hear it now. I can hear the same. I can hear it. But most of the time, he's got, like, the more higher, and it's just, you're like, wow, that guy's good. Like, that, because I never would have guessed without knowing that. And it's the same thing. It's like, think about Grell. Like, think about it if you've seen, like, hello, best fangirl ever, right? Number one fangirl. But, and then Kazuma in Noragami kind of is like a very down-to-earth, serious, still a fangirl, but not in the same sense. It's totally different. But it's like, I mean, I guess you've got that going. But it's just, when I read that, I lost my shit. I was like, wait, what? I love both of those characters, and I just did not know it was the same person. I never would have guessed. Never in a million years, because there's no way. It's one of those, like, I want to watch an episode of, I just want to watch Grell talk for a minute. Okay. All right. And then click on Noragami and listen and be like, I can't even. It's fucking great. You know how I get about Japanese voice acting. So exciting to me. I just love it. Anyway, back where we were. It was a big fencing dojo, filled with talkers and walkers of all kinds. Real nasty guys, you know. Look at how cute he is. I can't help it. It's like the little chibi versions of the Code Realized characters. Like, you're like, they're so cute. Giant eyes. Except for this is like supposed to look like a real person, but it's almost borderline. So cute. He's got a longer ponytail as a child than he did as an adult. That's funny. I was the youngest and smallest. No matter how long I'd been there, they always treated me like a runt. I was bullied and given shit all the time. He kind of was. It's sad. It's fucking adorable. Back then, the only person who gave anything close to a look was Kondo. Kondo was like his dad. So cute. I'd sulk all day, thinking my sister abandoned me in this world. Abandoned me in this world. No one gave a damn about me. But he's the one who taught me that life is meaning. There was a specific reason that I was dealt the hand I was dealt. Pfft, I never thought I'd amount to anything. And he began to teach me the life of a swordsman. Because of Kondo, I was given a second chance at life. I could become something. This is the one we've already seen. Look. Inoue. That's Inoue. Before he lost all his hair and became grandpa. I love it. And I want to be like, baby Hijikata. But he's still baby. He's like, teenager Hijikata. Because let's see, Okita's the young, like, maybe, yeah, he's about 7+ years older. I think, actually, no. Nobody knows Okita's real age because they were like, there was like 2 different years. He was either born in this year or like 2 years later. So it's like a 2-year difference that nobody knows. But they're like, he's like the second youngest, but not really, because if he was born 1 year, he would have been older than Saito. If he was born in the second year that they couldn't tell of the two, he'd have been born the same year as Saito and could possibly be younger. So he wasn't really the second youngest. Obviously, Heisuke was the youngest. So it's like Okita and Saito are roughly the same age, but like, I think, yeah, he would probably been bordering on like late teens, possibly like 18 years old, like anywhere between 16 and 18 here, maybe something like that. But that's so cute. He's like big older brother. Dad, be nice to your older brother. I love this. I just want to make this family in The Sims. And like grandpa in a way. I love it so much. This game kills me. This whole thing is killing me. I can't even handle my life. Anyway. And after some time had passed, up comes Hijikata, who started sniffling his nose around Shady Hall. In the beginning, scratch that, even until now, I really hated that guy. He was a rich snob, and his dad was a farmer. He looked like he never had a hungry day in his goddamn life. You just resent him because he's older, and he's good at what he does, and Kondo liked him, and you just wanted to be the only one. Look at that fucking bastard face of his. He looks like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. That's the I'm gonna fucking kill you face. Standard Okita. But even so, Hijikata turned out to be Kondo's favorite after a while. You should have seen the look on Kondo's face every time Hijikata told him he could have been a daimyo. Every time Kondo spoke to Hijikata, his eyes had a little more twinkle in them. Hijikata's closer to his own age, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what it is. It's like, you're like a kid, you're his child. Hijikata's like a younger friend. It's a different dynamic. Okita sheepishly looked up at the stars above us. You're just jealous of Hijikata. That's so cute, though. Altogether radiating like a tapestry in the bright sky. But you're the one that Kondo gave that sword to. Okita, I was gaining a much clearer picture of how Okita became the man he was. Hijikata had been there since the beginning, since Okita's most cherished memories of Kondo. Although there were days, I'm sure, that he was dismissive of Hijikata, I suppose he could never bring himself to hate him. He's your older brother, be nice to him. I think I finally get it. To Okita, Hijikata was a person of great consequence. Although his reverence would never match Kondo's, there was a noticeable level of respect. Let's hurry up and find Hijikata. We don't want to miss him again. I thought you came to stop me from finding him. Oh, I thought you came to stop me from finding him, though. To be quite honest with you, until we had talked about it, I had my reservations, but I found it difficult to articulate this properly. But it mattered that I had made my feelings known to him. But after hearing where you stand on the whole thing, I think us finding Hijikata would be good. Okita held Kondo in a regard that was untouchable to anyone else. But more importantly, he understood that Hijikata held his own, independent reverence for Kondo. If their reunion meant they could share those sentiments, perhaps to bask in their memories of the lost friend, then everything would be okay. I have faith in you. I knew that Okita possessed good within him, and that ultimately I could trust whatever decision he made. I trust you! And then he kills Hijikata. Well, I trusted that decision. I don't know if it was a wise idea. We're not gonna let him. Okita glanced at me with surprise, staring silently for a moment. But then, suddenly he grabbed my arm to pull me in closely. Kiss me? Dear God. His arms wrapped around me, and I was beside his chest. Okita, shh, Spacey. Shh, don't ruin the moment. There's a lot of holding me tightly. I love it. Sorry for sneaking this up on you. He whispered intimately, and I could hear a little bit of doubt lingering behind his words. Oh, just hold him. I don't know what's gotten over me, but I've never needed you more than I do now, kid. That's so cute and weird because you call me kid, but... His fingers locked around the dimples in my back, and I buried my face into his soft collarbone. I couldn't speak anymore. My heart beat like a war drum inside of my chest, beating out the war of love. It's been so long since I've had someone I can talk to, someone who understands what I'm trying to say. His voice quivered, making his admission all the more sincere. This path is going to kill me. I'm just torn up inside. I can't help myself. I'm so sorry. He hugged me awkwardly, but my love for him was blossoming so fully nonetheless. Okita... His warmth gave me comfort, and I leaned into his soft, supple arms. There was nothing that made me happier than being locked into his tender embrace, feeling his cool breath tickle my forehead gently. I was a little worried he would catch sight of my blushed cheeks, or that the steady beat of my heart would make him nervous. However, he paid no mind to my anxieties, instead squeezing even tighter to melt my worries away. You're a tricky one. He tightened his loving embrace again while smirking kindly as he whispered into my ear. Before I knew it, you slithered your way into my heart. I know I did because you used to hate me. It's adorable. I am a tricky one. And you know what to say. Almost like it's what I want to hear most. I could sense he was a little embarrassed. You make me so happy. Sharing this intimate moment with Okita when the world around us seemed to be falling apart. We couldn't help but succumb to the hypnotic lull of our passionate embrace. I can fucking read, I swear. I never wanted to let this moment slip from my memory. It was as transient as it was beautiful, and I savored every part of it. No, don't let him go. No, 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 no. Eventually, his arms loosened their grip, and he reluctantly let go of me. No. No. All right, time for us to go. Okay. We playfully glanced back and forth at one another for a while as we made our way down the path. That's adorable. Insects chirped lively all around us, and Okita punctuated the noise by timidly speaking. I just want to know one thing. I want to know what Hijikata thinks of it all. We continued down the wooded path, following what we believed to be tracks matching Hijikata's frame. Finally, as dawn began to break in the east, we had found Hijikata. Oh god, he's not dead, is he? Okay, he's just surprised to see us. Okay. You two, you're all the way out here? Hijikata waved off his bodyguard and he turned to face us. You know why we've traveled this far to see it, don't you? Yeah. What other reason would you have followed me for? So, you already heard. The condo was beheaded, right? Yeah, it's old news. Okita's eyes grew wide. I see. You knew this whole time, huh? So you knew it. What the hell were you gonna do about it? All of a sudden, Okita threw himself at Hijikata, grabbing his collar with both hands. I mean, this one they show you in the opening credits, but I was always like, what's going on in the scene? Well, now we know. Why? Why the hell didn't you watch after him? Why didn't you stop him? You could have saved him. He trusted you. You could have done something, anything. Even if no one else could, you could have stopped him. I couldn't. Hijikata cut Okita off, barking at the top of his lungs. He was seething and his eyes glowed with anger and regret in equal parts. Don't hurt Hijikata, he's just as hurt as you, honey. I wanted to save him. I tried to. You think I would abandon Kondo because I wanted to? And of everyone, even going back to Shei Hall, who the hell do you think supported Kondo more than anyone else in the whole goddamn world? I can't do his voice angry, it hurts. Okita's hands shook violently as they loosened their grip on Hijikata's collar. That was just too much of a mouthful to do. But even then, you let Kondo die. Okita was on the verge of tears, and he averted his gaze to avoid Hijikata's intense stare. Soji. The hands, which moments earlier shook with vengeful rage, were now limp and powerless. And then, are they gonna hug? Okita caught Hijikata off guard by activating his fury powers, and he threw a relentless flurry of punches at Hijikata's face. Don't wreck his pretty face! I'll let you slide this one time, but it doesn't mean I forgive you. Hijikata slowly rose from the ground, begrudgingly wiping the blood from his mouth. You know, I think the old me would have killed you here and now. But now, pfft. Hijikata offered no words of defiance or rebuttal, and instead he took in everything Okita was saying. He's like, I believe you. I believe him too. He probably would have killed me. And then, hug each other. Before he surrendered himself over to the Imperials, Kondo said something to me. Let me go. So at the end of the day, I guess I just did whatever I thought that meant. Maybe I didn't stop to consider what that might have meant to him. It's so true. If only we never went to Kyoto. If Kondo would have just stayed at Shei Hall as a dojo master, he wouldn't have been disgraced like that. He could have died with honor, And he'd still have his head right now. Maybe. Yeah, most likely. Although Okita had lamented what could have been, his tone was no longer accusatory on the part of Hijikata. So what's next for you, Hijikata? Kondo left the Shinsengumi in my hands. It's not like I could just walk out on him right now. I'm gonna round up whatever men I've got and head north. What about you two? I can't go with you, Hijikata. Hijikata shut his eyes, giving me the impression that he'd expected Okita to say as much. He's like, I don't want you to come with me. Oh, Okita, if that's how you feel, he's like, I'm glad, because I don't want you with me because you're just one angry moment away from literally, like, killing me. Instead of urging him to join, Hijikata merely sighed in acceptance of his old comrade's position. I see. Hijikata nodded, and while the two of them mutually understood that their paths would soon diverge, neither of them were bothered either way. There's something I need to tell you as well, Hijikata. What? We encountered Yamazaki. He was pretty badly wounded the last time we saw him, and since then, he'd separated from us. He wanted me to tell you that he promises he'll find you soon. Hijikata's eyes thinned, and he was visibly shaken by my news. However, in typical fashion, he gritted his teeth, and his following response was strained. Yamazaki's so fucking dead. I see. Thanks for the heads up, kid. Take care of Soji for me, will you? Yes, please take care of yourself too, Hijikata. You're so pretty. Hijikata gave a mild grin. Then, he turned his back towards us to walk away. Once Hijikata had gotten out of earshot, Okita spoke up softly. Hijikata's a real dumbass, don't you think? Huh? He said he might have misunderstood what Kondo asked of him. That maybe he was acting in his own self-interest as opposed to doing what Kondo asked of him. That's not really how he is, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. Everyone who knew the man at Sheiyo loved him, but the two people who cared the most about him, the ones who actually worked to get him to become the daimyo, were Hijikata and Sanin. In the same way that Kondo gave me a second chance at life, I'm sure Hijikata gave Kondo a second chance at his, too. It's ironic that Kondo, if anyone in the whole world, was branded a criminal and beheaded. Okita took a deep breath of the chilly evening air, and he turned to face me. Well, why don't we get going? Huh? Get going? Where are we going to? Huh? Or are we going to your village to look for Kodo? Sheesh, don't tell me you forgot already. No, of course not, but are you sure that's where you want to go? There's a chance Kodo knows how to cure the effects of the water of life, right? Yes? Well, at least according to Sen. Then I'll go with you. Becoming a bloodthirsty monster after drinking some bullshit serum isn't a good look on you. I want to save you, so I'll do whatever it takes till the very end. Okita's kind smile carried with it a hint of melancholia. I couldn't help but worry about what it all meant. I want to save you, too. Although his words were emotionally resonant for me, there was a foreboding feeling I couldn't shake, and I sensed that Okita could still slip into darkness. Was I, too, susceptible to this darkness? I was hopeless against whatever fate was waiting for us. I was helpless against whatever fate was waiting for us. But like in all the other well, at least in Hisuke's path, there was the, oh, there's like a well there, or like a whatever that can cure, a spring that can cure the water of life. So I'm assuming, like, they never said it was or wasn't real, right? But I'm assuming in Hisuke's path, that's, we went there and healed it and blah, 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 right? And there's nobody else there. It's literally just us, so. I mean, we noticed in a bad path, we went there without him, and it was like, it's just me! So, we might be able to actually cure ourselves. When I awoke, the sun was gradually descending into the horizon from the west. To my surprise, I found a welcoming face that was quite eager to greet me. Like, squirrel! Afternoon, Spacey. Get some good sleep. Yes, I did. How about you, Okita? Are you feeling rested? Yep, slept like a baby. You're lying, aren't you? Hey, that's messed up. I don't need to call me out. Well, lately, little by little, I've been starting to notice when you're telling the truth and when you're lying. Really? Can't catch a break around you, can I? Talk about annoying. What? Annoying? Ah, shut up. You don't have to get worked up every time. I'm just kidding. I'll fucking kill you. Ugh. I don't want you to push yourself. Please rest. But I'm not tired. I'm not pushing myself. I mean, it's my body. Yes, but I want that body and to stay in one piece and not be dead. I also want that body. I don't believe you, Okita. Then why don't you tell me a fun little bedtime story so that I fall asleep? A bedtime story? Yeah, don't you know? Like when people tell kids folklore stories and stuff to put them to sleep. Okita's idea reminded me of how my father used to tell me stories as he tucked me gently into my futon when I was a young girl. So, were you told bedtime stories when you were a child, Okita? He's like, no, nobody loved me, and I was thrown into, yes, about swordsmen. Maybe Kondo probably did. Yeah, not every night, though. When I first came to Shei Hall, Kondo would stop by my room before I went to bed, and he would regale me with all these interesting tales. I told you it was going to be Kondo. And it would always be Romance of the Three Kingdoms, or The Water Margin. I think at some point I heard it so many times I could recite it from memory. Romance of the Three Kingdoms, a novel describing the turbulent period of Chinese history that began in the late Han Dynasty and lasted for nearly 100 years, known as the Three Kingdoms era, inexplicably popular in Japan. Suikoden? Suikoden? I don't know if you pronounce the U in that. You should. I mean, anyway. A story written in China during the Song Dynasty. It tells the tale of heroes gathering near a fortress at Mount Liang to save China from terror. Kondo really likes his Chinese mythology in books, huh? Interesting. I can picture it so clearly. Kondo was always so kind, so confident, and really worked his ass off. I always looked up to him. I would have done anything he told me to. Okita, you're lucky. Okita, I think you should count yourself as a very lucky man for having such a positive influence in your life at a young age. Well, if I never met Kondo, there's no doubt in my mind I'd be way more cuckoo than I am now. That's not what I meant. I know, but this is who I am. So where's the rest? Tell me more why you think I'm so lucky, because you have a gorgeous woman traveling with you. When I first met everyone in the Shinsengumi, I'd written it off as a stroke of bad luck. I bet. But then, as I grew more comfortable around everyone, I was able to learn so much more about them and myself than I could have ever imagined. But it wasn't all sunshine and cherry blossoms, though, was it? I mean, it probably would have been better luck for you if you never learned that your dad was some lunatic who was turning humans into monsters. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, that was quite the surprise, but if my father was committing all of those egregious acts that I learned about later, then I don't think it would be right for me to bury my head in the sand. There's a sense of perspective that only emerges when you experience pain and suffering. Man, you're so positive. If you had to deal with half of the crap I had as a child, you probably wouldn't have become half the cynical asshole I am today. Huh? Is he complimenting me? Or is he simply commenting that I was as hopeless as he joked I was? You see, I think there are still people in this world who don't have a bad bone in their body. No matter what happens to them, there's no way anyone ever hate him or simply be hated by him. In that way, you and Kondo are pretty similar. What? My heart suddenly melted in my chest. To Okita, Kondo was the paragon of kindness, a figure who represented every trait Okita respected. Huh? Oh, that's me. Huh? Did I say something? You're blushing. Oh, oh, well, you said that Kondo and I are similar, and I don't deserve such a kind compliment. Okita chuckled. You're a weirdo, you know that? You're blushing because I compared you to Kondo. Well, to be fair, it was a little strange of Okita to compare a woman he loved to a man he viewed as a father. How do you know that he loves you? He hasn't said it yet. You're just guessing. Anyways, ain't fate something? If it weren't for you, I'd probably have died a long time ago. Kind of true, yes. Kondo played such an important role in Okita's development, and Okita was still learning how to cope with that loss. One thing was certain, When Okita said he likely would have died a long time ago, I agreed with him. To me, all that mattered was that I could be beside him when it really mattered. I didn't say as much to his face, but it was something that made me smile. Hey, Spacey. Honestly, I'm still wrapping my head around the idea of living a life without Kondo, but even still, there's a reason for me to keep going. So don't worry about me. I'm a lot tougher than you think. Oh, I know you're tough, honey. I know you are. I never doubted that. I knew that he was telling me the truth. It wasn't as if I had any reason to doubt Okita, but there was still a part of me that knew he was trying to protect himself by feigning emotional strength. It's just the kind of man Okita was. Yeah, I'm kind of worried about what'll happen if we find Kaoru. Hare Village is a long way off from here. But let me deal with that. I got your back, kid. Okita had a way of soothing my concerns that was unlike anyone else, and he reached for my hand. It'll be alright. Whatever happens, we can get through it together. The two of us, okay? Okita... I clasped his hand in return, and I nodded deeply. Yes, let's do it together. The two of us. Wherever Okita will go, I'll be right beside him. I will follow him wherever he will go. That's all I could think of when the line came up. As long as he was there to grab my hand, there was nothing I believed we couldn't do. No matter what waited for us on the long road ahead, we could conquer it together. This sounds like an end. Like the end of the game, and you're like, we haven't even gotten a kiss, motherfucker, and it's not the end. Beyond that, together we could forge a new future for ourselves. As we watched the amber sunset merge with the indigo sky, we gathered our resolve, and we set off for my village. Could be the end of this chapter for all we know, though. We just started chapter 3. I feel like his path is going to be really fucking short. They were like, I mean, he hasn't been around. Is it already chapter 4? Damn! Jesus! We're blasting through his... Like, I don't even think... Heisuke's was a little bit like... Well, Saito's was 7 parts. Heisuke's was only 6. But, like, Okita, what? We're going to get, like, 5 parts? Because this is, like, the 4th part, and we're already in chapter 4. I don't know. Well, I feel like one whole part's going to be the, like, bad ending, so maybe we'll get 5, but damn. Anyway, Spacey! Spacey! Someone's calling out my name. Surrounding me is a vibrant meadow covered in a gorgeous blanket of wildflowers. In the distance, I recognize our small home situated in the village, hidden deep in the mountains. This is where we lived. Our modest but idle life. And then one day, our village was set ablaze. The flames bled into the sky, filling it with an ominous crimson haze. Spacey! Where are you? Spacey! I'm assuming, I would think it's more a brother calling, or maybe it's Kodo, I don't know. Someone precious had been calling out to me. It's probably our brother. Suddenly, the ground around my feet was littered with an array of atrophied corpses, each body marked with a mortifying expression. Lungs were filled with the char of smoke, making it difficult to catch my breath. Then I blacked out. As I regained consciousness, someone was carrying me. We're almost out of the woods, my child. Hang in there just a tad longer. I almost gave him the Inouye voice. The man panted heavily as he carried me through our swift escape down a forested trail. I cannot believe the tragedy that has befallen us. They'll never get away with this. All because we refused to participate in their coup. They've destroyed our home. Even though I was but a child, I realized that my innocence, my home, all of those things would never return to me. The further we fled from the village that we called home, the more my heart filled with terror and my eyes filled uncontrollably with tears. I hate them. A voice echoed from out of nowhere. Maybe that was supposed to be me. As if it had entered my brain like a curse. We just wanted to live in peace, away from the troubles of humans. Those bastards just wanted to destroy. But why would they destroy our home? The sound of the mysterious voice spewing its indignant cries came into a cacophonous harmony with my desperate sobbing. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. Ah! All of my dying clan's resentment and sorrow manifested into a haunting condemnation. I hate them. Their words became my words, and the same bitter sentiment left my mouth. Hey, little sister! Spacey! This voice. My eyes widened, and it was Okita staring back at me with a concerned expression. Oh, was I just dreaming all of that? Well, thank God. You alright? You were talking in your sleep. Are you having a nightmare? No, it wasn't that. I'm just still adjusting to sleeping at this hour. Don't worry about me. For some reason, I felt too embarrassed to look Okita in the eye, so I fidgeted and stared at the ground. Why would you even bother lying to me? You're terrible at it. What? I'm not lying! I shouted impulsively at him, rushing to clap my hands over my mouth as soon as the words came out. No. Okita was taken aback by my surprising outburst, and for a while he seemed offended, but he shifted into a more sympathetic approach. Sorry. I'm just looking out for you is all. No, I should be the one apologizing. He was only showing me concern, so it was unfair of me to yell at him. I wondered what compelled me to do so. It was difficult to discern or trust my own feelings. Something nasty began to fester in the pit of my stomach. I needed to take better care of myself. I began to wonder if becoming a Fury wouldn't only deteriorate my body, but my mind as well. Let's drop it. His urge was curt but gentle, and I thought it was a good opportunity to open up about how I felt. I took deep breaths, making it easier for me to gather my thoughts coherently before I spoke. I had a flashback, just a little one, about my childhood. Back then, we lived in a remote, peaceful village. But one day, for whatever reason, an army of humans marched into our village armed with weapons. As I searched for details of the memory, I bit my lip. I realized that I was uncovering a deeply buried trauma that had been waiting for me all my life. They lit the village on fire, and my parents, as well as other demons we knew, were all murdered. All we wanted was a life of peace and solitude. Recounting the story triggered all of my hateful feelings once more, brewing like a storm in my heart. Whatever selfish reasons they had, they killed men, women, and children. Everyone. Everyone. An entire village who only wanted peace. I was aware that most people aspired to obey their inherent goodness, hoping to triumph over evil. I knew this wasn't the truth for all men. There were men who took pleasure from their evil deeds. Spacey. Okita gazed at me longingly, reaching his hand out to mine as a gesture of comfort. However, I couldn't reciprocate it. I don't know what to think anymore. I never ever imagined myself as someone who would let their resentment consume herself. I suppose that my bitterness had nowhere to go, and the tiny flame within me grew and grew until it had become a wildfire intent on getting vengeance. Now I wanted nothing more than the families of those who destroyed my village to suffer in agony for generations, until they could no longer even conceive of hope. As such thoughts simmered fiercely in my mind, I suddenly gasped in shock. I don't know if you should focus too hard on that right now. You're thirsty, aren't you? We're out of water in our canteen, so I'm going to fetch some from that river nearby. Wait here for me. Call my name if anything happens. Okay, be careful. Okita jumped through the bushes to look for the river. Sweat dripped down my forehead, and I wiped off a thick layer with the back of my hand as I sighed. Just then, I heard grass rustling underneath heavy footsteps, only a little distance from where I was sitting. Okita, did you forget something? When the voice didn't respond, a wet chill crept down the length of my spine. It wasn't Okita. I held my breath anxiously, waiting for an answer. You're a real bitch, you know that? How could you mistake your brother for Okita of all people? Kaoru, what are you doing here? Well, I am currently working in close cooperation with the Imperial Army, so it's easy for me to be on top of your whereabouts. I know you fought the Imperial Army at Utsunomiya Castle, and then now you're headed north. Oh, we didn't fight anyone, asshole. We ran from them. I can think of only one reason why you'd split from the Shinsengumi to head north. Kaoru smirked with his suggestive tone, and he started approaching me slowly. Can someone kill him already? Can we kill him? Can he die? It's chapter 4, so he is gonna die, but... With each step he took, I nervously took a step back. So it's all coming back to you now, isn't it? The memories of when we were children, I mean. You still look like a child. You look like 8. Our life was so perfect. No need for the vitriol or the arguments that seem to plague the lives of men. But that life was stripped away from us for no reason. We, who were stronger, sturdier, better than them, were made to suffer. Kinda unfair, don't you think? Those with the power to do great things are seldom given the opportunity at the hands of their rivals. His voice hurts me. Only the ones who work to step on the good graces of others, manipulating anyone who crosses their path, can have the last laugh. I think if Kaoru had confronted me with this monologue just days ago, I would have dismissed it outright. But now... Her village was destroyed by humans, wasn't it? I was reminded of the nightmare I just had, and then going back further, I recalled what Sen had told me before as well. Western domains threatened us to work as spies in order to overthrow the shogunate. Our father told him he refused to become involved in the conflict of humans, and he chose to ignore their threats. Then, they arrived, and they burned everything they could lay their clutches on. I don't understand your spite. What Kaoru spoke of was a memory I had sealed away to live my life, up until recently, as a human. But all of it was coming back to me. All of his anger and acrimony was justified. So now you finally understand why I'm the way I am, despite living your life of privilege. Kaoru's eyes shifted to look far into the distance. At long last, we can come together. We can be the siblings we were born to be. I've been enduring this burden alone for so long, and you'd only suffered a taste of it. We're twins, which means our bond is unlike any other. Don't you agree? Kaoru turned to face me again, and his eyes had a melancholic sincerity behind them. I had to pause to breathe. What do you hope to do? Isn't it obvious? My aim is to restore the Yukimura clan, our village, and we'll reclaim the life that the humans stole from us. I'll never forgive those who erased my family and the people from my village from this world. Nor will I forgive the demon clans who ignored us in our time of need, leaving us to wither away to nothing without a second glance. And more importantly, I'll never forgive the filthy humans who are tainting our beautiful country. Kaoru began to burn with a potent rage. However, becoming privy to the reasoning behind all of this inner turmoil made me realize I was no longer afraid of him. If anything, I could only feel for him. Kodo has created an improved water of life, one that can allow any fury to withstand the sunlight. I froze. Kaoru, is father with you? Yes, he is a distant relative of mine after all. Ours. He's committed to the future of our clan. He will use his improved serum to take back what's ours. His new serum is so powerful that even half-demons can drink it to regain the powers diluted by the sinful matrimony with humans. With this new water of life, we can create an army, one that doesn't rely on any one demon. One thing that will conquer all other demon clans. With our new army, we'll achieve what all other demons failed to do, and we'll conquer Japan. Kaoru reached his hand out to mine. Spacey, join me. What? Kaoru sprung his proposition on me. This was no joke from Kaoru. He was dead serious. You understand, don't you? If it'll make you feel better, Okita can come with you as well. We're going to massacre the evil forces conspiring with this country for the good of our people. Just as Sen had predicted, Father was continuing his research on the water of life even after leaving the Shinsengumi. Perhaps Father held the key to curing the affliction inside Okita and restoring his humanity. Together, perhaps we could create a new home for ourselves, one where we could live in peace. No, but I think you need to go with him just so that you can get closer to your father and then murder them. This was one chance to give myself the promise of a better future. Was it worth it to accept? Before I could answer Kaoru, I'm going nowhere. Never will. A familiar voice responded in the distance, and at once I was snapped back to reality. Spacey, You really need a lesson on how to say no. Haven't you ever heard of the phrase, too good to be true? That son of a bitch can't be trusted. Okita emerged from the trees, standing in front of me to confront Kaoru directly. Kaoru, however, seemed to have anticipated Okita's arrival, and he grinned suggestively. Creepy. I don't expect her to answer right away. It's a lot to consider. I figured I'd let my sister sit on it. We'll wait for you at our village. Make your decision before you meet us. Wait! Okita immediately unsheathed his sword and attempted to swipe quickly at Kaoru. Kaoru read Okita's movements easily, narrowly avoiding the attack as it grazed the fabric of his sleeve. Until next time, Spacey! I look forward to your answer! Then, Kaoru vanished from sight, melting into the air. God damn! That guy's good at weaseling away. Okita sounded irritated as he sheathed his sword back into its scabbard. Spacey, wake up! Why are you just standing there with that stupid look on your face? Don't tell me you've fallen for his cajolery. Cajolery? Cajolery? What the hell? Well, I'm only going to tell you this once. Okita slowly stepped towards me. Just then, Okita's face scrunched in pain, and he wrapped his arms around his body as he yelped desperately. Okita! Gonna tell me what once? In the blink of... Shut up! I want to know! No. In the blink of an eye, Okita's hair became stark white, and his irises once again became crimson. The madness of the fury struck him once more, and this time it was aiming for his heart. However, a nervous feeling shot through me. Another dizzy spell pulsed in my head. Huh? It became difficult to see clearly. My heart beated one ferocious pound, and then... Suddenly, I craved blood. I craved Okita's blood. My cravings began to dominate my mind, as if my entire body screamed to tear Okita limb from limb. That would suck. You'd wake up and you'd be like, ah! It was an animalistic desire that became impossible to resist with each passing moment. Thirst came from within. It was innate, and it needed to be quenched immediately. My forehead burned unbearably all of a sudden. I instinctively reached to touch it when my fingers felt something firm. Oh no! What was this? We have horns. My hair, which was tied into a bun on top of my head, became undone and fell to my shoulders. In the corner of my eye, I saw my hair flicker. It turned white. No! I shook violently from fear. As I reached to touch my forehead once more, I felt two horns begin to poke through the flesh. Ow! Slowly inching themselves above the surface. Ow! No! Am I really a demon? I mean, you've been in denial this whole time? Was this because of the water of life? No, it's because you're a demon. White hair and horns stabbing through my forehead. My soul, my body, both were becoming corrupted by the serum's poisonous effects. Grrr! The pain was abruptly punctuated by a desperate thirst. A tickling sensation began to irritate every inch of my skin, making me want to scratch uncontrollably. No! Then a hand gently wrapped a hold on my shoulders. I was too embarrassed to let Okita see me like this, and I couldn't bear to turn around and face him. Don't look at me! Okita was silent. Please, don't look at me! After I let out my sheepish whimper, he responded with a calm demeanor. Spacey, do you want my blood? No, I can't! All I could do was shake my head, fighting helplessly to suppress my cravings. It's so cute to just share blood with each other. He grabbed both of my arms and forced me to face back at him. There he was. Oh, in front of me stood a demon who resembled what I was slowly transforming into, except for he doesn't have horns, but you do. However, he had no horns on his head. Okay, there you go, thank you. But just like me, his hair turned white, and he looked ravenous for the taste of blood. I wasn't alone. The knowledge of this overwhelmed me. I wasn't alone. My tainted blood. It may contaminate you and bring you closer to becoming a full-blown fury. Okita breathed in a strained, panting staccato. That's my only fear. But if it make you feel better, take it. Okita, I'll endure it. That's what we're supposed to say. I bit my lip aggressively, and I unsheathed my kodachi. And then... Spacey, what are you doing? Please take a sip. I cut along the length of my palm, and I offered my bloody hand to Okita. You want blood, right? Please drink mine. What about you? Don't you need to drink blood too? Well, it's not as if I don't. My throat suddenly became dry and scratchy from thirst, which only worsened my cravings. But I don't need it! What I truly wanted was a reprieve from this suffocating appetite. It was driving me mad. I tried to think of a joyful moment, a time when we could live live life peacefully away from these impulses. Hopefully, Okita and I could carve a future where the serum's poisonous effects no longer held us hostage. I'm a demon, and even though I was forced into drinking the water of life, numbness started trickling throughout my body, perhaps trying to coax me into quenching my thirst. But even still, I don't need blood. I just wanted to live by Okita's side. I see. Gotcha. That's a good girl. Okita whispered softly, and he grabbed a hold of my hand heartily. Okita licked vigorously around each corner touched by blood on the surface of my hand. I am drinking your blood to keep myself sane, so I won't go mad. Okita tickled my ear with his torpid tone, utterly enthralled by the soothing taste of my blood. My body, on the other hand, was still aching longingly with bloodlust. But even so, watching him take such a lucid pleasure from lapping at my blood, I nodded firmly. And I won't drink your blood so that I can keep my wits about me. This was my burden to bear. You're stronger than me, kid. A slight pinch shot up my arm as Okita sucked in one more generous mouthful and let out a deep sigh. But I'm sure I'll get there soon. Okita's reassuring words made me realize how much he worked to keep me from giving into the madness. The end. Anyway. I'm going to wrap this part up here, even though, well, we're not totally done. Okay, you know what? Hold on. He and I leaned heavily into one another, and I did my best to endure the serum's poisonous effects. And through it all, Okita held my hand tightly. He kept me safe until the very end. Okay, that was better. That was perfect. That's perfect. Now this is where we can end. Okay. July 1868. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this part up here, and we'll just continue down chapter 4 and probably get the ending in the next part, and then, whatever. We'll see how long the next part is, but I'm thinking if it's 45 minutes to an hour, anywhere in, 40 minutes to an hour when we get the ending, I'll just stop there, and then we'll do the bad endings all together in one part. I guess it really depends. We'll see, because I don't want to go... We'll start doing the bad endings. I just don't want, the ending part to be like, well, now we only have one left to do, or it's an hour and 3 minutes. You know what I mean? I don't know. That hour and a half part, I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.